Hi, I'm Jerimiah Moerke. Now on Commuter Connections, MDOT MTA launches a campaign to shift the culture to end sexual harassment on transit. MTA Administrator Holly Arnold joins us with a look at that effort. A system upgrade, including new rail cars, is in the works for Metro Subway Link. With the change in seasons, MDOT MTA is gearing up for winter weather. We'll show you important information you need to know as the snow and ice season approaches. Plus, the best ways to integrate the transit app into your next MDOT MTA transit ride. And a look at our holiday bus. All on this edition of Commuter Connections. MDOT MTA recently launched a new anti-sexual harassment campaign that you may have seen on ads on buses and rail vehicles. It's part of an effort to make sure all riders feel safe and secure on transit. MDOT MTA Administrator Holly Arnold joins us now to talk more about the campaign and how riders can assist in the effort. Administrator Arnold, thanks for joining us today. Why did MDOT MTA launch this campaign?
We developed it for a number of reasons. First is because in our strategic plan, one of the goals is to address safety and security. It's a real commitment to make sure that we're keeping our customers safe and secure. We've learned from transit agencies across the country, including San Francisco, Washington, D.C., Boston, and Chicago, that have launched similar anti-harassment programs in recent years, and that it's had a real effect in making their riders feel more safe and secure on their system. You know, I personally feel really strongly about this. We've heard some reports from students who take our system and don't always feel safe on the system. And so we want to put out this campaign to note that, sexual harassment is not acceptable on transit or anywhere else.
So what is the primary goal of the campaign, at least initially?
So initially, our goal is really kind of focused on educating the public on what constitutes sexual harassment and how it can be stopped. Industry-wide evidence suggests that it's a personal security issue for transit agencies, and that folks have to feel safe on the bus or on the train for everyone who wants to use them. And so, we know for our riders, their trip begins at the front door and ends at their destination. So we can't control every aspect of that trip, but we want to ensure that the part that happens on transit is safe and secure.
What might riders see as part of this campaign?
So right now there are ads on the buses and trains. I've seen some myself. There's a few on the bus stops and on our stations. And we're also putting out ads on social media or posts on social media to let folks know. We've launched a webpage in mta.maryland.gov/safety that people are able to go and get more information. And it really kind of highlights the resources that folks can access and a reporting form for individuals who experience harassment to help us better track and confront that.
And my understanding is part of this campaign is also for bystanders. What are some examples of what bystanders can do to help if they see or witness harassment?
Absolutely, yeah. We want to make sure that we are empowering everyone to address harassment. And so they can consider the 3 Ds, distract, delegate, and direct. So in terms of distract, really, it's kind of an indirect approach to shift the focus somewhere else and get the harasser to stop. So, for example, if you see someone being harassed, you can start a conversation with them to kind of change the focus and ignore the person harassing them. Ask them for directions, talk about say you love their dress and ask them where they got it. You can delegate, so really kind of getting help from someone else if you don't feel comfortable intervening. So this could be MTA personnel, other bystanders. And the key here is just really making sure that you're addressing a specific person when asking for help rather than a group of people. And then finally, you can directly address it yourself, so address that disrespectful behavior, name it, name what you observe, saying, hey, she looks uncomfortable, why don't you leave her alone? Or ask a question to give the harasser a chance to kind of understand that their behavior is unacceptable and self-correct. Do you realize you've been staring at her for 10 minutes so that they can change their behavior?
I know that data collection is also an important part of this campaign. Can you tell us a bit about why that is?
Yeah, so one of the big things that we learned when talking with other transit agencies is the importance of data, so that we're able to see if the campaign's making a difference, and when we know where and when things are happening, we can better deploy our resources to address them. So, we want to make sure we can better assess the extent that it's happening, help us make the future decisions in terms of outreach, how we message our campaign, and, putting out expectations for rider conduct, and really that resource development to ensure that we know where it's happening and when, so that we can properly deploy our resources. We're going to be using annual rider surveys. We do have training for management and operators to report it, and outreach events at frequently used transit stops.
And what else should we know about this campaign?
So I think the biggest thing is this is just the beginning of a kind of long-term investment in shifting the culture on the transit system in a way to improve the transit experience for all of our riders. Based on the feedback that we receive, working with our agency partners and other resources, we're going to refine and expand the campaign, as well as continuing to partner with those community-based resource organizations.
And Administrator Arnold, we have just an extra minute here. Were there any other efforts right now underway that riders may find interesting or should be aware of?
There's always a ton going on at MTA, but I do want to share some exciting news regarding the Fast Forward program, which began November of 2021. This is our $43 million initiative to improve transit reliability, system safety, and the transit experience, all on an accelerated schedule. So we are currently launching 5 bus and bicycle only lanes and installing new bus shelters in key locations. So riders will be seeing bus lanes on sections of Charles Street, Light Street, Hartford Avenue, Gay Street, and York Road. This will be a 6-month pilot, and we're going to be looking for feedback during that time.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time again this month, and we look forward to chatting with you again.
All right. Thanks again.
Coming up next, we'll introduce you to an important Metro subway link upgrade, which includes new rail cars and other improvements to the service. Stay with us. After almost 40 years of reliable service, Metro subway link is getting an overhaul. It includes new rail cars and signal system upgrades. Project Manager Janet Ungerer joins us to talk about these improvements and what they mean for riders who use Metro Subway Link. Janet, thanks for joining us on Commuter Connections today. Can we start by giving our viewers a quick overview of what this project is?
So the project is called the Metro Rail Car Train Control Replacement Project. And it's basically purchasing new rail cars and a new train control system for MTA's Metro subway link.
And when this project is done, what will riders notice? What is the benefit to riders?
The system is over almost 40 years old right now. And so I think people may be experiencing delays often as there's repairs done or maintenance is done on the existing system. With the new system, they'll have a more reliable, safer, and information will be provided more to the passengers than with the current system. The trains and the system will be new, so any maintenance will be focused on preventive maintenance and not corrective maintenance. So maintenance will be faster. Maintenance technicians will have a lot more information to help them troubleshoot and solve problems. Besides that, the trains with the new system are tracked more closely. They also provide real-time diagnostic information as they're traveling. So if there's an issue that may come up, or if it looks like something might be happening, they can take quicker action and remove those vehicles, put replacement vehicles in service. So delay time will be a lot shorter if something were to occur. The system also automatically gets the system back on schedule when there are delays.
So it sounds like there are many, many benefits to riders once it's all in place. Where does the project stand right now? What's currently happening, and what should our riders look forward to?
Right now, it doesn't seem like a lot's been done because you're not seeing new trains or anything like that. But in reality, a lot has been done. These projects do take a long time because they're awarded with performance-based specifications. So the first couple of years of the project are really to complete the design based on MTA's requirements and the chosen contractor, in this case Hitachi, applying their available technology to those requirements. So we go through a design review process. More importantly, we go through a safety certification process at each stage. So that can take time, and you don't really see a lot of evidence of progress during that time. But a lot of important work is taking place. But what we have accomplished is we have a new network in place up and down the line, all the way from Owings Mills to Johns Hopkins. That's been tested and it's functional. So it allows all of the equipment along the track to communicate to the equipment and the control system that it needs to communicate to. We've also replaced all of the interlockings with new equipment. That's something that hasn't been done in 40 years. And so we're almost finished with that. We have about half the system done, but the rest of it will have new solid state equipment by the end of the year. So that's all of the interlockings along the main line between Owings Mills and Johns Hopkins. Interlockings are what allows the trains to switch safely from one track to the other. We're getting a new train control and monitoring system as part of this project. So that's how dispatchers watch the trains, know where they are, and can communicate with passengers and with the drivers of the train. And that system's in test right now, and that should be working and functional by the end of next year. We've also installed a lot of the equipment for the new train control system, which is called communication-based train control. The infrastructure is in there, but it's not fully functioning yet. On the rail car side, we have 4 rail cars that have been produced. Right now, they're undergoing testing in the factory. And besides those 4, there's production going on up to 12 more rail cars. So even though we aren't seeing anything right now, we are making progress on the project.
And what is the overall timeline? When will people really start to see some of the work? You've been laying a lot of the groundwork for a while. When will they really start to see some of these improvements?
Rail cars are supposed to be in Baltimore in March of next year. The first 6 rail cars, which make up a full train, will be in Baltimore by September of next year. They'll go through a testing period. Towards the end of 2024, we should have 1 train in revenue service. And then after that, the rest of the cars will start shipping. They'll go through testing, not as lengthy testing, because once we've proven a lot of the safety systems, still thorough testing, but less testing on the remaining vehicles. And all of those should be in revenue service by April 2026.
Wow, so it is a long-term project.
It's very long-term. We started in 2017 with the design portions of the project. We really didn't start installing or testing any of the new equipment until probably 2019.
Wow. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate you sharing all this important information.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
MDOT MTA is working to bring real-time information to your fingertips to help you get where you need to go more efficiently. Our partnership with Transit App gives riders the latest schedule and location information 24/7. Just this summer, we added light rail to the app. That means real-time information from all fixed route services, including Metro Subway Link, Local Bus, Commuter Bus, and MARC Train, is all one tap away. MDOT MTA's Cole McCarran shows us a couple of ways to use the app to make your trip easier.
Hi, I'm Cole McCarran, and I am the Real-Time Passenger Information Manager here at MDOT MTA. I work behind the scenes to make sure the real-time data our agency provides you is as accurate and reliable as possible. Today, I'm going to show you how to use Transit App to plan your trips, and ultimately, using the information in the app, have the greatest possible transit customer experience. Right now, I am at Pratt Street and Calvert Street, one of our very many bus stops, and I'm going to plan a trip using Transit App to meet up with some friends down in Fells Point. Come on, let's get to it. I'm going to start by opening up Transit App, and I can see right on the home screen all my nearby transit options. If I swipe down, I can see a bunch of trains and buses nearby, sorted in proximity to my location. Say that I knew I needed to take the Navy to get over to Fells Point. Right on the home screen, I can see that the next Navy bus comes to my stop, Pratt Street and Calvert Street, in approximately 10 minutes. And if I wanted to see more information on this route, I could simply tap that card and see all the upcoming departures, as well as all the stops and connecting lines that this route services. But say that I didn't know I needed to take the Navy. Well, right in the middle of the home screen is a search bar. And if I simply tap it and type where I want to go, like Fells Point, I can simply tap Fells Point in the search results, and Transit App is going to plan all my available options right from my current location. I can see the Navy route comes in about 8 minutes. And if I swipe down, I can see that the Navy comes to my stop, Pratt Street and Calvert Street, at around 11:29. It's about 5 stops away, and I get off at Eastern Avenue and Broadway at around 11:38. So I've walked over to my bus stop, Pratt Street and Calvert Street, and I know I'm waiting at the right location because I see that I'm taking the Navy to Water's Edge, which is coming in about 3 minutes. I can see that on the bus stop sign that I'm waiting at. Now, I'm taking a pretty simple ride. One bus route just for 5 stops, but say that I was taking a more complex route. I needed to connect to, say, another bus, or maybe even our light rail or metro systems. Transit App would tell me where to get off and how long I need to wait for my connecting service. Well, my bus is arriving, so I gotta go. But I hope you enjoyed spending this time with me learning a little bit about how Transit App works and how it can help you get around. I'm gonna be in Fells Point in 5 minutes using just one bus route that I learned about in the Transit App. And whether you're traveling in the city of Baltimore or across the region, know this: MDOT MTA and Transit App has got you covered. See you next time.
The Transit App is available for both Apple and Android devices. Just search for Transit and look for the app with the green icon. And just ahead, a look at how MDOT MTA can help you prepare for the winter weather season. That's next. The winter weather season is approaching. MDOT MTA wants you to be prepared for any substantial snow by offering resources, including an informative snow guide, to assist transit riders with travel on winter weather days. Taria Burwell, manager of the MDOT MTA Transit Information Center, joins us with important information for travel during periods of inclement weather. Thanks for joining us, Taria. We appreciate you being with us today. Let's start with some general winter weather advice and prep questions. How early in the year does MDOT MTA start planning for the winter weather season?
Well, thank you for having me, Jeremiah. Well, the MTA is always prepared for adverse weather conditions. They start in the fall to prepare for the winter weather season. We map out all of the routes and anticipate severe adverse weather conditions so that we'll have a game plan for our customers.
What advice do you have for people riding transit using our system during the winter weather season?
During the winter weather season, I suggest that our customers become familiar with how to get connected with us through email, online connections such as the MTA website, and also through social media, and also from the radio station WTTZ 93.5. And all this information can be found in the Snow Guide.
And you just mentioned that Snow Guide. What is the Snow Guide and where can you find that guide?
Well, the Snow Guide is a pamphlet that we pass out at the beginning of every winter. It's available to our ridership. The guide can be found at several locations. It can be found at the transit store at 6 St. Paul. It can be found in local libraries. And also it can be found on our internet website. And also you can get one by calling 410-539-5000. And the agents at the Transit Information Contact Center, we're more than happy with information. And we also have a larger scale broadcasters, and that list can be found in our Snow Guide. And then also, it would help if they were familiar with safety tips and how to get back and forth to the locations that they need to go to safely. And the guide can also give them tips on how to remain safe and plan their rides along the way.
How long has MDOT MTA been producing that Snow Guide?
Well, the Snow Guide has been around for over 25 years.
So it's been a major part of the communication for winter weather here in the area.
Yes, I think that it's expected, and our customers and ridership look for it in beginning at the later part of the fall. They begin to look for the guide.
And is there any cost for this information?
No, it's free to everyone.
And how many guides are printed each year approximately?
Our first batch has 30,000 in it, and then we print as needed throughout the winter.
What is your kind of number one tip, or what is your best piece of advice for people out wanting to use transit when there is this winter inclement weather?
Well, my best piece of advice to give people is to prepare and plan ahead of time. You can also find out where there may be delays and diversions. The snow guide has information on how to contact specific offices around the MTA so they can learn what side streets will not be available. And when side streets are not available for transit, they have to make their way to the main streets. And then also we'll be able to tell them an approximate time about when those side streets will be cleared off and travel can get back to work.
All right, thank you again so much for joining us, Taria. We appreciate you spending a few minutes with us today.
And thank you for having me. Have a good winter.
You too. Up next, a look at the MDOT MTA holiday bus, which is headed to a stop near you. That's just ahead. Stay with us.
My favorite Baltimore area holiday tradition is Tuba Christmas. We participate every year for the last 10 years with my uncle, who comes from Chicago, who is an alumnus of the Peabody Institute, and he plays the tuba. Each year we have dinner, we see Tuba Christmas, and we go to Little Italy with all the orchestra players.
Well, one of my favorite holiday traditions is Christmas. And that's because it brings the family together. We all have a big feast. We enjoy spending time with each other, having great conversations. So mainly for me, it's Christmas.
I like to go to the local Christmas tree farm and cut down my own tree. It's a family tradition. We've been doing it for years.
You've got Santa Clauses at most of your major malls. We typically go to Mondawmin as they have one of the only malls that are available to have a black Santa Claus. So, you want to get somebody that looks like you have options.
It's hard to pick a favorite, but I think I'm going to say the Krampus parade that happens, at least the years I've gone. It's in Hamden mostly, and people dress up as the Christmas devil Krampus and wander around in horrifying costumes and sing silly versions of Christmas carols that they've modified to terrify the children.
Oh, I love the Christmas time around here. They just light it up every house. I believe it's 34th or 36th Street where they light up every house with Christmas lights, and we go over there and we walk through there, or even go down to the harbor and they light it up down there. So it's a beautiful sight.
Those are just a few of the holiday traditions that our colleagues look forward to every year. But as an agency, we also have a popular tradition. The MDOT MTA holiday bus will soon be taking to the streets with lots of holiday cheer for the season. It always puts a smile on the faces of transit riders wherever it goes. Hopefully you'll get to see it and ride this special bus. MDOT MTA Deputy Director of Customer and Community Relations, Eleni Flannery, joined us with a look at this annual tradition. Welcome, Eleni. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks so much for having me.
So, a fun topic today, holiday bus. So what is the holiday bus?
The holiday bus is a very festive and specially decorated bus designed to bring good cheer and the holiday spirit to our riders.
So for those who haven't seen it or seen it out on a route, what does it look like? What makes it so special?
So the outside of the bus is designed to look like a winter wonderland. And once you board the bus, you feel like you're in Santa's workshop, complete with decorations and candy canes and festive music.
So it's got everything.
It's got everything, except Santa this year. He can't be with us this year.
Well, it sounds like a great bus anyway, but when does it actually hit the streets? When will people start to see it out on the streets, and is there a schedule for it?
So it will begin to cruise our city link and local link routes on November 30th, and will continue through December 21st. The routes are different every day.
And how are they selected? How are those routes selected?
Well, first of all, let me say we cover every route. So every route is visited at least one time, some several times. And the bus goes out about 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning and comes back about 3:15. So we look at ridership and we try to go on lines when the ridership is the heaviest.
So what does it cost to ride this holiday bus?
There is no charge. It's free for all to ride. This is a way for MTA to give back to the community, to thank our customers, and to wish everyone a happy and joyous holiday season.
And how long has the holiday bus existed within MDOT MTA?
So our holiday bus was established in 1969.
Wow, so it's been around for generations.
Different buses, but yes, we've had many holiday buses.
And do you know how it came to be or how it originated back then?
So it's my understanding that a group of bus operators who were also bus enthusiasts came up with the idea, and they gave their time to restore a retired bus that still had some life left in it. And 53 years later, we are fortunate to still have techs and bus operators who maintain the bus for our customers to enjoy each year.
And how early in the year does the bus get prepared? It must take a little bit of time to add all those elements that you were talking about earlier.
Well, actually, we begin to plan it early summer each year, but we're fortunate to have one of Santa's helpers, who is the bus operator. He gives his time each weekend throughout the year to maintain all aspects of the bus.
Wow, that's really a commitment.
It is, absolutely. Yes,
wow,
it is.
That's phenomenal. What is the response from the public to the holiday bus?
They're just amazed. They're just very surprised. And most folks usually look twice when they see the bus approaching. And once they board, they're just amazed. And they're just so happy. They say that it has changed their mood for the day. And many times they don't want to get off the bus. They want their ride to keep going. And that's exactly the spirit of the holiday bus. That's what we want.
Well, if that's not a success, I don't know what is.
It usually is.
And I hear there's something new about the holiday bus this year.
Yes, there is. For the first time, the holiday bus will be participating in the Mayor's Christmas Parade, and we're looking forward to that.
Eleni, thank you so much for spending a few minutes with us today. I hope you have a great holiday season.
Thank you so much for having me, and best wishes to you and your viewers for a happy holiday season.
All right, thank you. You too. Well, the holiday bus may be one of our most visible traditions. Our colleagues at MDOT MTA have a long history participating and spreading holiday cheer at two other popular events. Mark Train will be partnering with the U.S. Marine Corps Reserve Toys for Tots program at Washington Union Station again this year. Passengers are encouraged to participate in the toy collection drive in mid-December. MDOT MTA has partnered in this event since 1994. And MDOT MTA Police will be bringing the spirit of holiday giving to Baltimore residents for the Adopt a Family celebration. MDOT MTA police officers will deliver gifts and meal vouchers to homes of selected families in the days before Christmas. MDOT MTA Police have been taking part in this tradition for more than 20 years. And that does it for this edition of Commuter Connections. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a great holiday season. We'll see you next time.